Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Mechamac. This is Final Fantasy Dawntrail. In the last episode we got to our final set of role quests, which is nice. While I'm waiting, we might as well do some trial and raid roulettes, because Raven does actually need some things. Direct hit, vitality, determination... Mesquite juice, but my brain fills it in as mosquito juice. That's awful. That's disappointing. Today's delivery is not something we can make. Fluffy little fox. See, I don't want to start before at least someone shows up, because the story is kind of important for this one. We really don't have any spoken blood, huh? I wonder where it would sell it. Oh, I can go do some mining, even though my gear is absolutely atrocious. Oh, hello, Q-Pop. Alright, what's on the duty roulette today? Oh, Omega. Well, some people didn't know to use the anti-gravity gimbal. do actually remember the I do remember doing the Savage version of these fights. They were fun, but I don't think I have time to really learn all these mechanics anymore. I think I'll just pull the boss and not look at it because it's about paralyzed. Everyone into the middle. Well, that's very inconvenient, isn't it? Is he going to do his big... Oh yeah, negative 100 Gs. Gravity is inverted, slowly lifting me further from the ground. I did come here to do some mining in case I wasn't going to get a Q-pop, but since we did get the Q-pop, I can safely go do that. Between sleep and death, Tentoa has a worried expression on his face. Just the person I wanted to see. I'd like to ask your advice on a certain matter if you don't mind. It's been a while since my last letter to Lozenque. I wanted to wait until I discovered something worth sharing to write her about. We're still completely in the dark. I don't want her to worry, but I don't know what to tell her. Whatever you write, don't make her wait too long. Good advice as usual. I wish we had even a single thread to grasp, but an unexciting letter is better than none at all. Alright, I'll start right away. I might not have much time left. Oh, don't misunderstand, it's nothing so grave as that. It's just, the last time I used the cradle was just before it was stolen. Luckily I'm still as alert as I've ever been, but it won't be long until I must dream like any other. That will give Leofine free rein while I'm helpless in bed. There's no quarry more dangerous than one who doesn't sleep. We have to see this through before that happens. Mistress Venner, Master Tentoa, we have received reports that several groups of Temple Knights have fallen afoul of what can only be your stolen artifact. Several? Let me guess. They were all guarding someone else. You would be correct. It's the duty of a knight to protect those who cannot protect themselves. If we fail at even that most basic function, our honor means nothing. As if the incident near Camp Dragonhead was not shameful enough, the knights in these most recent attacks were left in quite compromising positions. Yet the weight of embarrassment is a trifle compared to the guilt we would bear if any innocent came to harm. The Fury was merciful in that respect, but we would rather not see these incidents repeat. Still, while the Temple Knights must work to repair their reputation in the days ahead, 'tis a far cry from bringing Ishgard crumbling to its knees. Truth be told, the methods of this passion of the Unbound leave me mystified. But Leofine was cunning, if nothing else. Till we can discern her true motivations, we have little recourse but to wait until she makes a mistake. She may be testing the limit of the artifact's powers. Then you suggest she has a greater purpose in mind for it, and these incidents are simply a prelude. We cannot discount that theory, I admit. We shall remain vigilant. There's no telling how much chaos she can sow if left unchecked. We have to do everything we can to get the cradle out of her clutches. And to do that, we have to start asking the right questions. This new information makes me wonder, why has she focused her attention on the Temple Knights? I have pondered the same. Posted at Camp Dragonhead are knights from many houses of repute, including House Fortorn. Being a former Temple Knight herself, Leofine doubtless knows their habits and training. Perhaps that makes it easier for her to exploit their weaknesses. Then if we follow the knights, we may pick up her trail. It's not ideal, but it's the best we have to go on. Well, a large contingent of knights has but been recently dispatched to Querthus. You remember Gorgane Mills, yes? It has lain abandoned ever since the heretics were driven from it. Yet there is ever the risk that unsavory elements might infest it once again. Thus have the Temple Knights planned joint patrols of its premises with other contingents. If you speak with Sir Redwald at Falcon's Nest, I am certain he would be glad to have you along. It just struck me that there is a very serious gender imbalance in these Dawntrail role quests. This is the first male voice I've been able to throw into these, I think. Falcon's Nest, Falcon's Nest. Just teleport. Why bother doing anything fancy? Is that Mistress Venner I see? Oh, of course, you are ever welcome in Falcon's Nest, yet I believe I do not know your companion here? Indeed, whispers of the Temple's Knights' humiliations have reached us even here, falling asleep while on duty. I dared not believe the stories, but it seems there was truth in them after all. They fell asleep, true, but it wasn't their fault. We suspect they fell victim to an enemy wielding a powerful artifact. Now, the rumors fail to mention anything like that. If it can lull even trained warriors to sleep, we must treat it as a serious threat. Nevertheless, if one knight falls, one is always ready to take their place. So long as this artifact cannot put an entire regiment under its spell, I believe we are well positioned to combat it. Interesting. The idea of your allies falling in battle doesn't seem to disturb you at all. Where I hail from, a single warrior is responsible for the safety of his entire village. Make no mistake, we do not doubt our allies' mettle, we mourn every loss. Yet each man and woman here knows that if they must quit the battle, another sword just as fierce will take their place. To know that an ally is at your back, it would allow you to fight with abandon. Now, you believe this Leofane may take interest in our activities at Gorgain Mills, yes? The party has already left, accompanied by a group of Temple Knights. If your suspicions are correct, they are at risk. I would ask that you follow in their tracks and ensure they have not fallen victim to foul play. The mills can be found to the north, just across the Black Iron Bridge. The party should be arriving there soon, conditions permitting. We have to reach him before Leofane does. At some point I really should go get the rest of the extreme trial mounts. But it feels like it'd be a lot of grinding to get it. I'm not entirely sure whether I'd want to. I love the Void Arc armor except for the upskirt shots that it generates. I'm not too fond of that because the lower leg gear is just another skirt under the first skirt, which means that in events that'll give you a look upwards. Yeah. But it's such a good Dark Knight set. We're too late, they're fast asleep. But Redwald gave the impression there were more. These knights must have been the lookouts. We should awaken them, but keep your eyes peeled for Leofane. I'll rouse these ones, Ray. You search that building over yonder. Who the hell are you? How did you get past the guards? Uh-oh. Unbound Impaler, Unbound Brawler. It's you! Thank the Fury when you arrived when you did. Those thugs struck when our backs were turned. I assumed the Temple Knights were protecting the entrance, so I wasn't as cautious as I should have been. Were they killed? Sleeping? I had heard the stories, of course, but I didn't think they were true. Whomever is behind this, I'm sure they didn't count on you showing up. For now, we shall tend to our wounds, then finish our inspection here. Mr. Svenna, I ask that you join the knights outside and wait until we're finished. As I thought. Just when I was becoming bored, I sighted a familiar face among these slumbering knights. I simply had to come and make sure it was you. You finally found the courage to show yourself. Hand over the cradle now, and I won't kill you. What did they call you again? The Wide Eye? You must have had quite the journey to come this far. Be careful, Ray. This is our quarry. The thief who stole the cradle of the sleepless. This is Leofane. That is your ally? What sodden tavern did you drag them out of? I dare say they seek your artifact for themselves. It matters not, I suppose. Before you both throw your lives away, I suggest you think it for a moment. Is the cause you fight for worth the sacrifice? So few of us know true freedom. If there is aught you would grasp with your own hands, do so before they wither and your eyes shut for the last time. The codes and rules would bind all men. Are mere illusions. Open your eyes, truly open them, and you shall see a path all your own. Only a fool would waste their life in the struggle of another. Quit spouting nonsense. Nonsense? Perhaps. I am here because of another after all. A Pyahi, who came to me at the height of my debauchery and welcomed me into her devious brotherhood. She guided me to great power, yes. And now I lead others upon the unbound path. Yet truth be told, I have little interest in seeing where it ends. To tear down the world's nations, Ishgard among them, and usher the world into... well, what does it matter? Yet I do derive pleasure in shaming the Temple Knights, in seeing the snickers and jeers deflate their pompous stride as they walk down the streets. If this artifact can hasten their fall from grace, I believe I shall keep it. I know the path I walk, the one that leads to your downfall. I won't abandon it. I'll take the cradle back. And then I'll... What a cheap shot. Oh dear, you seem to have lost your train of thought. I know you cannot hear me. But if you want your artifact back, I suggest stealing it from me while I'm asleep. But considering the burden I have just passed to you, that opportunity may not come for some time yet. Why, I feel so absolutely transcendent. To think the shadows of fatigue weighed so heavily. Alas, it appears the artifact needs its own repose of sorts. No matter, I have learned more than enough to take my next step. See to it that this lot is disposed of. 'Tis the least for the freedom I have given you. These artifacts are kind of overpowered. And this is one that actually knows how to use it properly. Try as you might to rouse Tentoa, he seems completely detached from the waking world. Looks like you've saved us twice today. Thank you. But what of him? Fast asleep, just as we were. Could this be what Sir Firmalbelt warned of us in his report? I see. Then those stories are more than just wicked rumors. I suppose there is small comfort in the enemy that our enemy tipped their hand without causing loss of life. While the drowsiness made my eyes heavy, my ears could not mistake Leofine's arrogant voice. If she would not scruple to attack former comrades in arms, then she has fallen farther than I dared imagine. Yet we bear the blame for allowing her to get the upper hand, and in so doing, put innocent lives at danger. Another black mark on our order. 'Twas only thanks to you and your companions' efforts that the snow was not stained red this day. At the very least, allow us to carry him back to the congregation. Our work here is done, so we shall accompany them as far as Falcon's Nest. Ray, pray return to Ishgard. Look after your friend. Full glad am I to see you well, Mistress Svenna. I understand you come fresh from an encounter with none other than Leofine. Master Tentawa now rests on the second floor. We stand vigil by his side every moment until he opens his eyes again. We should not have long to wait, but if you wish to check on him, please do so at your leisure. There is another matter to discuss. Just before your departure to Gorgain Mills, it seems there was another incident. A group of criminals were released from their cells, their guards found in their sleep. Doubtless Leofine was behind this. And doubtless the ruffians you clashed with were those self-same criminals. Leofine is gathering those who bear a grudge against the Temple Knights to her side, and using this animosity to her advantage. We now know for certain that Leofine is the mastermind of these attacks. Her aim is to chip away at the very foundation of the Temple Knights. Our honor. When I shared these revelations with my superiors, 'twas decided none would speak publicly of the artifact and its powers. The passage of the Unbound seeks to overthrow the nations of the world. One obvious method to achieve this goal would be to stoke the flames of unrest among the common folk, thus sinking Ishgard into a mire of chaos and distrust. Not unlike those blasphemies of the final days. So long as these failures are placed squarely on the shoulders of the Temple Knights, we can avoid fomenting a more abiding mistrust in the nation's very core. For Ishgard's peace, I would gladly suffer any disgrace. The question remains as to whether we can apprehend Leofine before she tears our reputation to tatters. While Master Tentawa slumbers, it falls to us to search for clues that might point toward her whereabouts. Beacon in the darkness. Firmalbelt's lies light up when he sees you. Leofine remains as elusive as ever. If she is in league with Ishgard's more unsavory elements, she could be hidden anywhere. We have only her cryptic statements to guide us. It seems that whatever her plan is, her actions thus far have been but a prelude to its climax. We can but hope that Tentawa awakens before she emerges again. Right, there you are. So, this is apparently the only role quest where the person who starts you on the quest actually shows up during the quest itself and not just at the end. I'm so glad I found you. I was starting to think I was in the wrong city. but the narwhal guided me true. Oh, you must be the maiden Tentawa mentioned. You hail from the same village, yes? I'm Firmalbelt, of the Temple Knights. 'Tis an honor to meet you. Tentawa wrote about you in his letters. I'm Lozanikwe. The honor is all mine. Is Tentawa with you? I haven't received a letter from him for some time, so I came here to check on him myself. He got zapped with the cradle. And she just rushes inside. You insufferable fool, what have I always told you about rushing ahead without thinking? Now even have the goal to be sleeping when I arrive? You promised you'd write me. What was I supposed to do when the letters stopped coming? I was so worried. At least I can take some small comfort in that he appears otherwise unharmed. I take it you're to thank for that, Ray. He told me you were the shut eye. Yeah, that's right. For 10 years I bore his fatigue, and as a result my body is more fragile than most. But ever since arriving in Tuliolo, my life has become normal. As I've walked the city streets and eaten my fill of its food, I've felt my strength grow. I can even stay awake for a full day now. Do you know why Tentawa sleeps so soundly? The reports of other incidents indicated that those awoke in a matter of moments, yet Tentawa shows no signs of stirring. Well, I'm sorry I can't say for certain. But I do know the stories of those who came before me. More than one shut eye has fallen into a sleep much like this. One so absolutely they become deaf to the outside world. With no means to sustain their bodies, they would waste away if left alone. So our people found a mixture of herbs and other materials that helped usher the shut eye back to the waking world. What could possibly be strong enough to bring someone back from this? We call it spring dew. The secrets of its making are passed down through generations. Each drop acts as a ray of sunshine in the darkness of sleep, a beacon for the dreamer to follow. I carry some of the ingredients on my person, but others must be gathered fresh. It won't be an easy task, but I'm certain it will save Tentawa. I don't know the Raelsian name, but one of the flowers blooms a striking yellow, and grows only where mountain peaks soar above the clouds. Being so close to the heavens, it drinks in the sunlight, and its petals cleanse the body and promote wakefulness. In the churning mists blooms a yellow flower called the dandelion. In no other place in Raelsia can one be closer to touching the sun. Good. Next we'll need the saliva of a beast we call morbles. The thicker it is, the better. The pungent odour could wake the dead. Ah, I know them well. Morbles are not an uncommon sight in the Dravanian hinterlands. A mature specimen should possess the saliva with the desired effect. The prospect of gathering it, however, is an unenviable task. Once we have those two ingredients, mixing them with the rest should prove a simple matter. Do you think you could procure them, Ray? Oh, your confidence is reassuring. Since the morble saliva must be the fresher of the two, I ask you first climb into the heavens and pick dandelions for Tentawa. So this is how Tentawa looked upon me for so long. The sight is unsettling, I admit. Please, Ray, come back soon. I want to hear his voice. Sun-drenched dandelion. Sun-drenched dandelion. The sun-drenched dandelions shine an almost golden yellow, now for a much more gruesome task. Venture to the Dravanian hinterlands, collect saliva from the mouth of a full-grown mortal. Oh, right. We don't actually start in the Dravanian hinterlands. And now back to Ishgard. We're just going all over the place. We're having some slight clipping issues with the back of that outfit, it seems. It's almost morning in Ishgard, thank goodness. I'm ready to start mixing the ingredients at once. That is, of course, assuming you've brought them with you. Found blooming among the floating isles above Eorzea, the petals of this dandelion glow and almost as brilliantly as the sun which nourishes them. So pungent that not even a sealed vial can contain its scent completely. A single whiff of this saliva can wrench even the deepest sleeper back to the waking world. These are difficult to acquire at the best of times, so I thank you for gathering them so quickly. I shall get started immediately. We've done all we can. Now we wait for Tentawa to open his eyes. Where am I? I hope you enjoyed sleeping the days away, Tentawa. And I'm glad you're finally awake. Luzanique, what are you doing here? I see, so Leofine wielded the cradle against me. And while I was tucked in soundly in bed, Luzanique came all this way. Curse my weakness! Just when we had her, just when I was needed the most, I failed. For 10 years I endured countless trials, and when the time came, I couldn't even swing my damn weapon. It's not your fault, Tentoa. If anyone's to blame for what's happened, it's me. No, I won't hear it. As you may know, Leophine won our trust by posing as a scholar traveling the width and breadth of Toral. She expressed great interest in the cradle and our customs. I was so excited to meet an outsider that I answered her every question. I told her that the Wide-Eye keeps the cradle with them at all times, and then she hatched her plan. She took me hostage to draw out Tentoa. While Lozanique was sleeping, Leophine snuck into her chamber and held a blade to her throat. We had no choice but to give her what she wanted, the cradle of the sleepless. I put Lozanique's life before the future of our people. It was at that moment I became unfit to be their guardian. Lozanique is one of your people. Protecting her was your duty. Thank you, Ray. You know just what to say. That was the only way to see a future where none of my people came to harm, especially Lozanique. Even without the cradle, you're still our guardian. My guardian. We'll find a way through this together. Seeing you in such high spirits lifts me on. Oh, and before I forget, you trounced Leophine's thugs while I was dreaming in the snow, didn't you? I owe you a debt I won't soon forget. And I wager that debt will grow larger before we pry the treasure from Leophine's clutches. But whatever it takes, I won't stop until she's answered for her crimes. It's not like I'm one to keep track of how much I'm owed. I'd probably run all the Eorzean alliances if I did. Darn it, I didn't take the time to talk with Nique. You know, while I was sleeping, I dreamed. I saw Lozanique and I as children. Nothing particularly interesting happened. We just whiled the days away without a care in the world. I'd forgotten what it was like to dream. It was pleasant. I can remember wanting to stay there, to never open my eyes again. But of course the moment I gave form to that thought, I opened them and Lozanique was there. Even if we get the cradle back, will things return to the way they were? Will you go back to spending your life in dreams? I suppose so. It's my duty as the Shaddai, after all. Your duty, and it was your duty too that compelled you to come all the way here to Ishgard. But no more. What are you saying? I tried so hard to convince myself you were glad spending so much time asleep, but being on the other side made me realize I was lying to myself all along. I don't want to return to a life where you and I are bound together but always so far apart. I want to go back to those happy days where we were by each other's sides. I guess what I'm saying is, if there's a different path for us, I want to find it. And I want to walk it with you. But not yet. First we reclaim the cradle, and then when we have, we'll take our first steps towards that new future, I promise. I must confess, I haven't felt the same since I woke up. I know I was in that bed for a while, but instead of feeling refreshed, my body feels weaker somehow. It's almost as if my strength was sapped when the treasure was turned on me. I can't even grip my weapon properly. Leophine did remark that she felt invigorated. Perhaps she took your vitality for herself. Then does that mean the Greater One's powers we don't know about? You haven't been wielding it like a weapon like she has. There's probably a lot you could do with it. Not exactly. It may just mean the cradle works differently than we thought. The wielder may not pass on their fatigue, rather they absorb another's vigor. The end effect would be the same. The Crowder's wielder can go without sleep, the victim loses the strength to even keep their eyes open. You never took more than you needed, so my slumber was always light enough to awaken from. But if the treasure was used without restraint... If we've had this realization, it won't be long until Leophine does too, and then it'll be too late. We have to root her out. But I mustn't rush ahead blindly, as losing the Equate never tires of telling me. I nearly feel as weak as a child right now. I must spend what precious time we have training to regain what strength Leophine stole from me. You have my word, I won't rest until I'm in top form again. I suggest you do the same, if for no other reason to give me some stiff competition. I don't have enough ingredients to make spring dew again. We'll have to deal with Leophine before the cradle's power returns. Level 98. Awakened, not stirred. Tentoa appears healthier, but there is a hint of weariness in his expression. You're looking strong, Ray. Well, I'm not my old self again, yet. I'm feeling better by the day. Still, there's so much work to be done. I need to be even better than I was before if we have any chance of to have any hope of catching Leophine. I wonder what she's plotting with the rest of her cohorts. We know they aim to topple nations around the world, but this is an odd way to go about it, don't you think? Why haven't her Misties and Ishgards extended any further than the Temple Knights? We've pondered the same question. Our best guess was as a former Temple Knight herself, she chose them because she knows how to exploit their weaknesses. It might also be a personal grudge though. She's using her knowledge as a weapon. We need to equip ourselves likewise. If we can learn more about her, we might be able to anticipate her next move. A good plan, but I have to admit, no idea where to start. Should we ask Vermalbert? I already have. He said that while we never knew her personally, the knights in her old squadron might be able to shed light onto her past. Some of them may even patrol the city now. Vermalbert was great in helping telling me where they might be. You've been busy, Losneque. Well, I can't remember the last time I was this long. I didn't want to sit around until I got tired again. And we're all better for it. Since you've gathered the information, it's only figured that I should do the legwork. Just tell me where these knights are and I'll speak with them. Gladly, but Ishgard is still an unfamiliar city for us both, right? Although Vermalbert told me where to go, the names of these places mean nothing to me. Luckily, we have Ray to guide you. You'll go with Tentoa, won't you? I knew we could count on you. Alright, take note of these locations. Being forced to work with someone like Leophine isn't a fate I would envy. I'm curious to hear what these knights would have to say about her. Hopefully they provide more insight that'll help us guide forward. Time is of the essence, Ray. Let's get moving. Alright, so where can we check? There. Oh, one of them's just inside, I guess. Now this is a rare privilege. What business could the savior of Ishgard have with a humble knight? You want to know about Leophine? Well, many Temple Knights come from common stock, but she was different. Despite what she became, Leophine was born of noble blood. Even so, she often made mock of Ishgard's customs and the responsibilities that bound the conduct of noble families. Doubtless she yearned for freedom all her life, or her idea of it anyways. Although her deeds caused her to be expelled from the Temple Knights and summarily stripped her of title, she may have actually desired that outcome. If she hated it so much here, all she had to do was leave. I hear she did leave, for a time at least. Now she's in league with a group that aims to plunge the world into chaos. If a selfish heart like Leofine was sought out to aid in this plot, I shudder to imagine how wicked their leader must be. Do you require aid? I must keep watch, so forgive me if I don't engage in idle chit-chat. Leofine? Brr, I can spare a moment. I don't suppose you know why she was expelled from the Temple Knights, do you? Well, few were her equal in swordplay, and few still have handled their mounts with such grace. She often spent her nights carousing in the gambling halls. It was after just such a night that she fell asleep while on duty. Some may call it a cruel twist of fate, but dragons attacked her charges as she slept, and they were left defenseless. In her negligence, she was deemed to have aided our ancestral foe, and was thus stripped of her knighthood and title both. Knights falling asleep on duty, a story that's become all too familiar. Given what happened, I had no doubt she came to fear sleep, yet now she's conquered that weakness, and she wields it as a weapon against us. She may even believe herself to be beyond the reach of mortal danger, yet she's only deluding herself, and in time she'll be made to answer for her deeds. I've heard the people of Ishgard revere a warrior god, but here is a statue of a Felician Blood Knight. I've never seen such a thing. My people make no figures or depictions of our departed, fearing that such objects would keep them from finding their way into the next world. The only idol we keep is the cradle of the sleepless. And thanks to its blessings, the wide eye has always watched over us. So our reverence is devoted solely to the narwhal. It's enough that it guides our people safely to the next sunrise. All is quiet. Even so, I must remain vigilant. Leofine, eh? A name spoken of in hushed whispers now, but many have forgotten her strategic genius. She had a singular talent for achieving victory in battle by whatever means necessary. Genius. Maybe we're just too dense to see how our actions could cause Ishgard to collapse. Given that her group seems relatively few in number, an assault on Ishgard is unlikely. Rather, I think her aim is to chip away at the people's trust in Ishgard's foundation, and by the absence of a few vital bricks, bring the whole nation tumbling down. The thought gives me worry. Even now, representatives from Ishgard are preparing to visit Oxundo in the Sea of Clouds. If anything were to go wrong, it would be a grievous blow to Ishgard's reputation. As we saw at Falcon's Nest, certain elements that oppose our nation see friendly gestures as a chance to spark conflict. Given recent developments, Sir Handloop has been debating whether the visit is a wise choice. Well, we have a general understanding of what drives our adversary. Stories that paint a picture of a rotten, conniving soul. It must have been hard on the Lord Commander. The Lord Commander? I take it that's the leader of these knights. Well, fancy titles hold little interest for me. I sympathize with anyone who had to give orders to a rotten apple like Leofine. Giving the Temple Knights a warning is the least we can do. It's clear this delegation, was it? Might prove an enticing target for Leofine. Finally, we have knowledge to use against our enemy. If we all work together, we might be able to trap her. We haven't much time. Let's return to the congregation and tell Handloop what we know. You are ever welcome at the congregation, Ray. I am well appraised of Leofine's wicked deeds, and your efforts to flush her out have been much appreciated. And this must be Master Tentawa, who crossed the ocean from Toral. I hope you have recovered from your ordeal. I'm better than ever. Apologies for taking up one of your beds for so long. Please, no apologies are necessary. On the contrary, the Temple Knights owe you a debt for all you have done. Which brings us to the purpose of this visit. You had something to discuss with me? I see you and I had the same doubts. The delegation to Oxzundo would be an obvious target for Leofine. I was but recently debating the wisdom of moving forward with our plans. As you know, all of Ishgard falls under the protection of the Temple Knights. 'Tis only meet that we maintain and strengthen friendly relations with our neighbours. The delegation in question is tasked with deepening mutual understanding of each of our own unique cultures. Sonu Vanu, the chief of the Zundo, was most eager to host. Yet so long as the spectre of Leofine hangs over our order, I fear visits abroad are unwise. Should any of the Vanu come to harm, our relations could be damaged irreparably. As we have no way of knowing if Leofine has caught wind of our plans, I am of the mind that postponing the delegation may be the most prudent choice of action for the safety of all. This could also be the perfect chance to draw her out. That's right, Ray and I won't let anyone come to harm. And as long as you warn the Vanu in advance, they shouldn't hold the actions of a rogue against you. If they're truly your allies, they'll see the wisdom in your judgment. Please, send the delegation as planned. It'll be our best bet to capture Leofine. Yes, your words have merit. Thank you for the sage counsel. You are right. The Zundu would not stand idly by while we suffer at Leofine's hand. In fact, the fellowship between our peoples was forged when a god assailed their home and it was brought low by a great hero, Ray. If we tell the Zundo she is keeping watch over the proceedings, I'm certain all doubts shall be quelled. Then you'll proceed? Indeed. The time has come for we Temple Knights to reclaim our honor and go on the counter-offensive. I shall bring the suggestion of a joint operation against Leofine to the Lord Commander as soon as possible. Thank you. Together, we'll put a stop to her scheme. I must first discuss matters with the others involved before we present a plan to the Lord Commander. Although time is of the essence, I ask that you wait a while until our course is settled. Tentawata told me of what you learned of Leofine. To be honest, I do sympathize somewhat with her desire to be free from the bonds of sleep. But that's where my sympathy ends. It's exactly because we must sleep that every waking moment is precious. A life awake is meaningless if we can't spend it with those we care about. I realize now that I had agreed to defend a people I know next to nothing about. Tell me if these Zundo will soon be visiting. They're like the Hanu with even more of a penchant for metaphor. Really? Two groups of such people so far apart? The world really is full of surprises. Even a single city is enough for a lifetime. Every day I hear about something that gives me food for thought. Like the story of the Dragonsong War, for instance. Generations of animosity between dragon and man that somehow ended in a rekindled fellowship. Imagined a whole world like that, a world where there'd be no need for protectors. The White Eye not only watches the monsters in the wilderness, but our neighbours as well. We've barely even considered sending delegations outside our village's gates. And while the cold snap only made things worse, With everyone struggling just to survive, our every thought goes towards defending our scarce resources. But if we only look outward with wariness, there's no hope for the future to change. No hope to build trust. If only there was a way to bridge the distance between us and greet tomorrow hand in hand. But maybe that's just a silly dream. Maybe. Either way, it's a beautiful thought. I'm glad you think so. I'll hold that future in mind as I get back to training. As for you, Ray, get some rest. If you fall asleep when I need you most, I'll wake you up with a knock to the head. And here we come to the end of this road. Dreams of a new day. Ten Tower is eager to set a trap for Leophine. One moment. Sir Antelope still hasn't sent word. I guess the others might not be so enthusiastic about our plan. To them, the cradle of the sleepless is naturally still something to be feared. No matter how much faith they have in your strength, you'd be at Leophine's mercy if she put you to sleep. Honestly, I don't blame them. Not even I imagined our treasure could be used for such evil. In Leophine's hands, it's no more than an indiscriminate weapon. But that means, when we get it back, we can turn it into something else. Something no one's ever thought of before. We can find a way to use it without forcing to spend their lifetime in slumber. Of course I agree with you, Tentoa, but we have more pressing matters. Namely, a rogue knight to capture and a treasure to recover. Alright, sorry, got ahead of myself. Apologies for keeping you waiting so long. The Temple Knights have finally reached a decision concerning the delegation to the Sea of Clouds. And what have you decided? I'm pleased to say that the Zundo have agreed to join forces with us. Together, we shall drive back Leophine should she attack. If her shadow darkens even an ilm of their homeland, our peaceful delegation shall turn into a fighting force at a moment's notice. We shall restore the Temple of Knights' reputation and recover your artifact in one fell swoop. Thank you, Antelope. We promise to do our part. If Leophine shows herself, she won't get away this time. We have but to hammer out the finer details. Once we are ready to depart, the first group of knights shall leave by airship. I would ask that you both make your way to Oxundu as soon as possible so you may help plan our strategy. I'm coming too. I can heal your wounds, and if it comes to it, my staff can bruise as well as a club. I'm glad to have you with us. I'm done taking on the world alone. I need you, Loves and Nikwe, and Ray too. We're stronger together than we could ever be apart. The cradle never would have been stolen if I'd realized that from the beginning. I want you by my side to ensure I don't forget it. Well then, we'd better be off. I'm keen to meet this Chief Sonuvan. They're a lot less colourful than the Hanu Hanu, aren't they? Honoured Netherling. Your return to Oxundu is as welcome as the arrival of spring. Sonu knows why you come. Wicked hearts seek to bring chaos to our home. And so the Zundu shall rise to its defense if needed. As the sun's rays chase away the shadows of night, the Sundrop dance shall keep the tendrils of sleep at bay. Chief Zan, Sonu Vanu, it's an honor to meet you. I'm Tentoa, and if this Sundrop dance is as invigorating as you say, I'd love to see it for myself. The Zundu shall dance before the Ishgard warriors upon their arrival. Brave Tentoa is welcome to join the proceedings. That was your original intent, right? I see. If we're to draw Leothine out, it makes sense to pretend like nothing is amiss. Zundu warriors unify their strength through the Sundrop dance. The sight is so fierce and many choose to flee rather than fight. Netherling warriors may learn much from such an approach. Break the enemy's spirit avoids needless bloodshed. Yet all dancers must hone their skills before wild animals first, and that the Sundrop dance does not fail at the most crucial moment. It is for that reason our dancers await in the outskirts of Oxundu for the Netherling's arrival. When the performance begins, it shall draw the attention of all like a roiling cloud over this horizon. Watch carefully for any who would take advantage of that moment. After the dance is finished, Netherlings will present the Zundu with Chief Zonu! Netherling ship approaches in skies like sudden shower, hurtling toward Earth. Swiftly it descends, crashing down near Zundu dancers. Ship's markings are Ishgardian. Zundu are unhurt, but wounded Netherlings pour from vessel. Like a lightning bolt in the night, Leothine strikes. She predicted that we were setting a trap and so set it off before it was ready. The Temple Knights were coming by airship, right? All Leothine had to do was lull the pilot to sleep. She saw right through us and now we're on the back foot. Great winds can alter even a raging river's course. What matters is to stand strong and move forward. And now we must offer aid to the Netherlings who come as guests. Right, let's go. I wonder, does Raven have this? Ah, we do have the Moonlift dance. You have to do all of the Heavensward Beast Tribe quests for that one, but it is a lot of fun. If this is the work of the Cradle, Leothine can't be far. We must tend to the wounded, but I won't let her escape again. This ends today, one way or the other. There you are, Leothine. You came all this way just to greet me? Oh, I am honoured. I only hope my gift was satisfactory. 'Tis a shame you will not see Ishgard crumble. Alas, I can scarcely suffer rats to scurry around my feet, threatening to gnaw away my carefully laid plans. At least you bear witness to the dying breath of the Temple Knight's flagging honour. We would sooner see that share ship soar again than their reputation return to its former glory. Yeah, even I did not foresee that the Zundu would be in the ship's path. The Fury favours me, for who now would trust a nation so careless as to put their neighbours at risk? Everyone knows you're behind this. People won't turn on each other so easily. Oh, I didn't see you there. The shut-eye wide awake. doubly honored I am that you came all this way just to meet your end. Enough. We're taking the cradle back. We won't let your evil continue any longer. Such bold words. If I recall correctly, your people reaped great benefits from this artifact's power. All at the cost of someone's waking life. Your life. Pray do not misunderstand me. That was not meant to be a denouncement of your people. On the contrary, they have my utmost respect. We are bound by our very nature. No matter how mighty we become, we are slaves to the whims of sleep. Yet this artifact can sunder those shackles and grant true freedom. It makes its wielders stronger and their enemies weak. A perfect weapon, if you ask me. I can't say whether using the cradle is right or wrong. I only know that a life lived at the cost of another is no life at all. You're right about one thing. We are bound by our nature. But that doesn't shackle us. It brings us together. And whether I'm asleep or awake, as long as those unique ways are by my side, that's the life I want. Show her no quarter. I'll be your shield. She's exhausted the cradle power in the Temple Knights. This is our chance. No plan is without its wrinkles, I suppose. Fortunately, I prepare for all contingencies. Unbound, Leophine, the Unchivalrous. You had an opportunity to live a quiet life, but I will not give it again. This time I shall send you into a slumber from which you will never awake. Our second dagger-wielding boss, although I guess the first one used shapeshifting instead. Give back the cradle, or we'll take it back. More bluster as usual. Take it if you dare. Protect the Neverling warriors! I didn't read what that said next. Zundu! With them by our side, Leophine won't stand a chance. Why must you resist, succumbing to the burden of sleep and dream eternal? Now, wake away the darkness of sleep with Sundrop Dance! Don't just stand there, kill them! Okay, you take those ones. Great, defend our allies over there. I'll take the other side. Witness the Sundrop Dance! Neverling warriors, awaken! Oh, they actually had a debuff called the Narwhal's Lullaby, huh? We were attacked. Good. Everyone's awake! The Zundu's fearsome dancing gives rise to a swell of ether. Mighty Zundu, protect the Neverling warriors! Keep cautious, like Gaelicat under stormy skies! Thank you. Forgive me. Heh, you're all alone. This ends now, Leophine. Why am I cursed with incompetence? Very well. Dance with me, wide-eyed. I've yet to test the strength granted to me. Your strength. Now I shall. Be undone! To think it could hold such power. The artifact is in possession of Untitled hands. Narwhal's blessing is only for those with the heart of a defender. Ow. Maybe we need to split up. You take that side. Leave you both. Healing is on the way. The artifact swells with power. It begs to be released. Now you shut your eyes for the final time. Take a last glimpse of the waking world. Brace yourself against the power of the artifact. I'll protect you until my last breath. Take cover behind Tentoa. None can resist my power. Oh, he's asleep now. I'm alright. What about Tentoa? Tentoa. The sacred treasure induced a deep slumber. You think this piece of wood is for protection? Such cloying sentiment. Cursed insects. You lot, finish them off, earn your freedom! Let the Sundrop dance shall rouse Nedling, protect the sleeper until he awakes. It's time for us to protect Tentoa. Let's get through this together. Oh, no you don't. On your feet, Tentoa. It's your duty as the Wide-Eye. Oh, I was asleep. I owe you all my life. Thank you. Zondu, go to help allies. May Zephyr winds guide you to victory. No, sleep is inexorable. How are they doing this? I'm far from finished. You will not withstand this. Others are just tools to you. Is that your idea of freedom? I will be bound no more. of your insolence! Heh, nice work. You stubborn. You may have won today, but this is not over. Yes, it is. Damned fool. Now! No! Say goodnight, Leophane. Yeah, he probably could have killed her. The wide eye watches eternal. The eternal is the sleep it bestows. We finally stopped her! Yeah, but we have someone else to worry about. Right, wake up, are you alright? Yeah, only she would smile at a time like this. Let's be fair, all the nonsense that the Warrior of Light goes through, she/he needs to have a bit of shut-eye, a nice rest. She's awake! Good to see you awake. Don't worry, you weren't asleep for long. Judging by your fierce expression, the cradle didn't sap any of your trademark vigor. Neverling looks hale as a warrior in their prime. Good. Our wicked foes fled from Sundrop Dance like twilight before dawn. Your work is done, Ray. You did a commendable job as our shield, and now you can lay down your burden. It was thanks to your bravery I was able to deal the final blow to Leophane. And with the cradle back in our possession, I think we can consider this expedition across the seas to be a success. The Sundu helped us gather the wounded and see them safely off to Ishgard. We couldn't have done it without you. Neverlings protect allies as fiercely as Gaelic protecting kittens. Sundu are moved by your might. You are equally impressive. I should learn the Sundrop dance myself, though I won't strike a figure half as fierce as yours. The Zundu seem to have everything well in hand, and Handaloop is likely eager to see us. We should return to Ishgard as soon as we can. I guess we do need to check in with them as well. Ah, the heroes of the day have returned. Thanks to your valor, the threat of Leophine posed is no more. What's more, not a single life was lost. On behalf of all the Temple Knights, allow me to express my utmost gratitude to you all. You don't owe me any thanks. After all, it was my fault the cradle was stolen in the first place. Ultimately, my fault your delegation to Oxundu turned into a melee. It may be true that our visit to the Sea of Clouds was far from peaceful, but the bond between Zundu and Temple Knights has only deepened through overcoming mutual adversity. Blessings often take inscrutable forms. And while we might not know whether Leophine yet lives, we do know that she can no longer reach the source of her ill-gotten power, so we have little more to fear from her. With the crisis behind us, the common folk no longer have aught to fear. We will make known the story of Leophine's schemes and the heroes who work to foil them. In time, I hope that trust in our order will be restored. The Temple Knights shall continue to build relations with our neighbours for years to come, relations which shall form the foundation for Ishgard's future. We would be honoured if we could count you among our allies in this endeavour. Anything you need, simply call on us. We'll be there, no questions asked. And with that, it's time we return home. It's been an honour. We'll be passing through Tuliolo on our way back, Ray. If you have business in those parts, we'd love to speak with you at XIV Thai before setting us off. See you soon, hopefully. So, for the Dawntrail role quests, there actually was an instance battle at the end of it all. So I'll be interested to see if the wrap-up role quest is just cutscene like it was in Shadowbringers, or if there's actually one more battle involved. Glad you made it back to Tural, Ray. I've been in Ishgard for so long I'd almost forgotten what it's like to sweat. But I remember now, you can be sure. Ray, there you are. I was afraid we wouldn't see you before you left. We arrived not long ago and appraised Bukavu of everything that happened. This is the longest I've spent away from our village, but even though Tuliolo and Ishgard are extremely, like entirely different worlds to me, I was only ever treated with kindness. Is anything the matter, Tentoa? Nothing, it's just something I've been thinking about. Our people have always been self-sufficient, but the Ishgardians and the Zundu showed that looking to your neighbours can reveal a way through the harshest difficulties. And you heard, Andaloop. The bond between Ishgard and Oxundu was only made deeper through their shared ordeal. To trust another to such a degree, well, I think it's a goal we should all strive toward. We have at least one friend like that, don't we? She who bent her ears to every note of the narwhal's lullaby without shade of fear in her ears, in her eyes. Thank you, Ray. For believing in us. For believing that no matter the outcome, your actions would not be in vain. In doing so, you taught me the worth of fighting alongside allies you can trust. Even if your shield breaks, that is not the end. You're right. It's our faith in our allies, and their faith in us, that gives us the courage to protect each other. But approaching someone with open arms doesn't mean they'll accept you. The relations between our people and our neighbours have been strained by generations of mistrust. We must take care to mend them properly. If we can do that, and learn to look toward the future hand in hand, there'll be no need to use the cradle ever again. People can sleep and dream untroubled and waken with bright eyes. I want to see those days come to pass. Me too. Then you and I can finally spend more time together. Alright, of course. If we're gonna see this future, we should get back to our village. They'll be overjoyed to see the cradle returned. Thank you for everything, Ray. Next time we meet, may we both have good news to share. No sleep till Tuliolo. This quest wasn't here before we talked to them. Picking up the torch. Rao Minajun has new tidings about an old adversary. Ray, good to see ya. I was hoping you would pay us a visit. The Lands Guard received word from the various nations you visited in your search for the treasures in your quest, and we will inform you of the latest tidings. They also send their earnest gratitude for your efforts. It seems each of the 5 criminals has been brought into custody, although some had to be tracked down after you trounced them. They now await the judgment of the governments they wronged. I thought all was well, until I overheard some customers saying the Passage of the Unbound had new leaders. The shop was so busy I couldn't find a chance to speak with them before they left, but I felt compelled to report what I heard to the Lands Guard. It was a sobering reminder that as long as their leader Apyahi is free, she can rebuild and scheme again. Okay, so it was one of the bunny girls that was the actual leader. You must have learned some about the organization's workings during your search. Do you remember anything that might help us find out what she's up to? Each of her leaders was carefully selected from different regions. I see there was a method to her recruitment. It stands to reason she might rely on it again. The Lands Guard also managed to dig up information. One of those apprehended said the Passage of the Unbound received their funds from a shady mercantile outfit located in Ulda. I have an idea. If Apyahi really is recruiting new members, we could feign interest in her cause to get close to her. You might be onto something. We even know a woman she's never had the pleasure of meeting. Ray. I know we're asking a lot from you, but any information you could extract from Apyahi and her new cohorts could prevent further incidents. What do you say? Desperate times, I suppose. We're very grateful. A small warning, however. We know 5 treasures were stolen, but there could be more. Whatever you do, don't treat Apyahi lightly. I suggest finding out what power she has at her disposal and what her goals are before making a move. Which reminds me, those you aided are most eager to see Apyahi apprehended. We'll tell them you're hot on her trail. For now, why don't you travel to Ulda and ask around? Perhaps our quarry has already tried to recruit the disillusioned into her ranks. I guess Ulda was the one place we never actually checked out. We visited everywhere else. Of course, it's all found in the markets. Where else would it be? Villains to wish they topple the nations of the world. I'm afraid I haven't heard of such a group, but there are no shortage of complaints about the Sultanate. Most common gripes are about market fees. To hear the merchants tell it, every one of them is a single bad bargain away from an empty coin purse. I can't say they'd go as far as treason, though. I don't know the name Apyahi, but I do know of a strange man. Each day he stands aloof, staring at passerby with these dead eyes. Last I saw him, he was near the market board. Oh, it makes my stomach churn just to imagine he might still be there. The materia melder? Shifty-eyed blokes, more shifty than usual, you mean? Well, it just so happens a strange man tried to strike up a conversation with me not too long ago. Said how he liked how eagerly I gave those bastards in the brass blades a piece of my mind. He invited me to a small gathering of people who sought true freedom, as he put it. I didn't like the smell of it, hence you find me here. It seems a suspicious man has been recruiting disgruntled citizens for unknown purposes. Perhaps you can get his attention by showing how angry you are near the market boards. Well, we don't want to be recognized. You there, mind letting me bend your ear? I sense in you a kindred spirit, one who's tired of being trampled on by the high and mighty. I think there's a place for you in our organization, the Passage of the Unbound. You might have heard tell of some mysterious artifacts being used to incite unrest along across the world. That was our doing, the oppressed finally striking back at the oppressors to win back the freedom they took from us. But we need to aim even higher, and for that we need more good men and women to lead us. Women like you. Down with the oppressors. Heh, I like your guts, so maybe you have what it takes. Mayhap you don't. Either way, you'll have to pass the audition first. You want a seat at the table? Prove you're worth a while. One of our own is standing by at the Gold Court. Show him this anvil, he'll lead you to where you need to go. It's a good thing we were in disguise. No one will ever recognize the Warrior of Light while she's wearing that Dark Knight helmet. What do you want? So you wish to lead others upon the passage, eh? You're welcome to try. But fair warning, this may be the hardest trial you've had to endure. Are your loins properly girded? That enthusiasm will take you far. Now then, follow me. The audition will be held in this room. Even those with the blackest hearts have balked at what we put our potential leaders through, so I'll be listening to your progress with great interest. Enter. Can you hear it? The cry of a child too young to know fear. Can you see it? A black bird in flight, its wings staining the azure skies. Can you feel it? The shape of the world as it should be, molded by hands free of fetters. The passage to a new morrow lies before you. The passage of the unbound. You're not pointing in the right direction, guys. With that, let us begin the audition for a new round of leaders. May the selection committee please take their seats. What is her angle? You look disappointed somehow. I understand. You expected to meet our founder. My apologies, but you'll need to prove yourself ere you are granted such an audience. Now tell us your name. Sure, why not? What's the worst that could happen? Ray? The Ray? You would play at being one of the realm's most beloved heroes? Take this as an honest criticism. Your capacity for deception is hardly equal to Samidea's. I suggest a more humble alter ego. On to the next. So we told him our true name, and he thinks that we're faking it. We're an imposter. Hopefully we get a chance to show him how wrong he is later. On to the next question. Why do you wish to join us? I want to change the world. If you truly desired that, you would have done something noteworthy by now. We would be ill-advised to recommend a novice for a position of leadership. Enough about your ambitions. What can you do? I'm a devil at Domaine Mahjong. No one can craft and gather like me. I can take on anyone or anything in a fight. Anyone can fight. You do know we're trying to topple nations here, don't you? We don't need someone with muscles. We need someone who can grasp the reins of leadership and lead us to victory. That's enough questions for now, methinks. Let's see if this one has the guts to stand against an entire nation. This traitorous cur sold us to our enemies. Chop off his head for us, will you? Oh, what's wrong? Having second thoughts? Take weapon. Oh, look at those eyes. A killer's eyes. Well, I'm convinced you can put that down now. This was all but a ruse, you see. You played the traitor most convincingly, my boy. And now you can leave. Huh. Well, I guess we aren't going on the dark side route after all. Let's see. Oh yes, your final task. Strike a pose that captures your essence. Go! Capture your beauty, capture your strength, do a little dance. I feel like dressed up as a dark knight means that we have strength. Oh. It's the Mandeville pose. Oh, my, such confidence, such grace, they quite literally emanate from you. I believe we're ready to make our decision. You are truly singular among the other applicants. We can confidently say you've passed the first audition. Even hard-boiled Shortlefoot nearly cracked under the pressure of our inquiries, but you remained composed throughout. Congratulations on your impressive feat. Our agent awaits to guide you onto the next step. It just shows how much murderous aura she had, that even without her eyes showing, you could see how murderous she was feeling. Oh, in that case, I'd like to at least talk with them again. I can see in your eyes that you've been through more than I can imagine. Hold on to your anger and use it to bring down the tyrannical rulers down to earth. If you're feeling your pull of the wool over our eyes, good. That just shows your capacity for villainy. Be proud of it. Quite the selection of candidates this time. Eh? You thought we'd welcome you into the fold after a single audition? I have you know our standards are higher than that. By the way, if you had failed back there, I'd be guiding you to combat training right now. Can never have too much fodder for the cause after all. Not many have been where you're going. But don't celebrate just yet, the hardest part is yet still to come. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Imposing views. The Unbound agent is ready to share your next destination. You must endure one final test, and seeing as how important it is, our founder will be conducting it herself. She was here just a moment ago, but something compelled her to leave for the Senegoli desert. Always has she followed the slightest whim. Show some initiative and find her among those massive dunes. Don't be intimidated. If you truly meant to lead us, fate arranged this meeting long ago. Okay, take the helmet off. I feel like if we're being invited out into the middle of nowhere, then we could actually just take some advantage of her. As horrible as that sounds. She has a mushroom pet? Hang on, those footprints look suspicious. Stop! Shake. Spin. Now come. Good boy, good boy. Well, I guess we know what our boss fight is going to be against then. It works just as well as I remembered. No beast is too great for the artifact's influence. What are you doing here? Do you fancy strolls among nondescript stand dunes? Or is this not a chance encounter? Is that so? My underlings see potential in you. Ah. Well then, let us proceed straight to introductions. Remember my name, the Architect of the Passage. Apiahi! Apparently they don't keep in touch, and none of them mentioned that Ray has been messing up all their plans. If you wish to be one of my chosen leaders, there is but one requirement. Boundless charisma! The one thing we can't do because we're a silent protagonist. Extraordinary strength and unparalleled intellect mean nothing if you lack the charm. No one will follow a bore. Yet when spoken with the right tenor, even wicked words can resonate with the small folk and rouse them to action. They'll gladly throw themselves into the thick of battle for a cause they believe in. Our cause. I did well in forming my first cadre of leaders. Their absolute devotion to indulging their own desires moved me, even me, to tears. For all their faults, I still wholeheartedly believe they were worthy of wielding the artifacts. Make me believe the same about you, and I shall take you under my wing. Well, now is your chance to impress me. Tell me, what do you wish to gain by overthrowing the nations of the world? Let's say power. Let's make a Raven a Blood Knight. Power is the one thing you do not seem to lack. Even so, your ambition drives you to even greater heights. Such a trait is crucial for one who would embrace wickedness. As for me, I only want one thing. Freedom. My village prospered amid nature unrestrained, while those in it who were bound by the rules of society. Our roles were determined at birth. Some would hunt, some would weave, but none were allowed to follow their hearts. Obedience meant a life without hardship, yes, but I couldn't suffer the tasks I was burdened with. So in defiance of those stifling customs, I went into the forest to hunt and returned to my village with a prey mightier than any had been caught before. For this, I was rewarded with exile. Yet my banishment was a blessing in disguise, for it helped me realize I could survive, I could thrive, unbound by rules. I also understood that many like-minded souls yet suffered under the subjugation of state. I resolved to become an example they could follow, to build the passage that would guide them to freedom. But enough about myself. There's something I wish to see. Follow me, but be wary of the beasts that infest these sands. I mean, serious backstory, but still kind of a goofball. As I said, beasts abound in these parts. I could kill them myself, but this presents an opportunity. Let us commence the practical exam. Defeat these creatures by whatever means are at your disposal. That was a fine show of strength. fine enough to impress the meek into following you, I dare say. Very good. Now follow me. We are not far now. Here we are. I've heard the stars are breathtaking from this vantage. In Uldar, they would charge you to view from the sky from a place like this, as if there weren't enough hands grasping at our coin purses. Let us wait a while and see if the stories are true. Indeed, it is every bit as beautiful as they say. It was a worthwhile trek, wouldn't you agree? The light from those stars travelled all the way from the edge of the firmament, obstructed by nothing on its journey. Free. I believe our people have the same capacity, each of us a star unto ourselves, the light of our lives illuminating against the farthest reaches of the heavens. Yes, you've passed, by the way. I knew I wanted you with me soon after our first meeting. Friends and allies gravitate toward you, don't they? I can tell. And so, to honour your induction into my inner circle, I shall award you with an artifact of power unequalled. Is what I would like to say. Unfortunately, my stock of magical objects has been much depleted of late. We look so disappointed. Are you truly so crestfallen? I suppose I cannot fault you for staying true to your ambitions. The artifacts wielded by the previous cadre were purloined from across the continent of Tural, where they were enshrined as objects of great power. Alas, we had greater need of them. Mine, however, came into my possession long before that. After I was exiled, I travelled the world to seek a place that was truly free. Disillusioned by every nation I set foot in, I eventually crossed the ocean to Tural. In the remote outskirts of Tural, I came across ancient and forgotten ruins, and within I encountered the spirit of a Yokwi, who called himself the Wise One. I asked the Wise One where I might find freedom, and he told me this story. When I yet lived, my people ventured into Tural, but before we could settle here, a terrible sickness struck, and one by one many lost their lives. I sought a way to conquer this affliction, crafting an instrument that could harness the power of mighty beasts. Thus was the first treasure created. Alas, I was too late to save my brethren, yet I knew I could save others from our fate, so I travelled across the land bestowing the treasures upon struggling tribes. I wish to create a place where people bereft of a home can live as they wish. Such a treasure could help me realize this Oh! Hang on. Dramatically wise voice. Ham-fistedly heroic voice. I have not been doing it very accurate to the character, have I? Your conviction is plain to see. That is true. 5 treasures have I bequeathed, but there is one which remains sealed away. Its power is far too dangerous. My conviction means I can wield it responsibly. I beg you, bestow the treasure upon me. My words must have swayed him because the spirit's final act was to honor me with a relic before disappearing. I will use the power entrusted to me to shatter the rules that stifle us. That is why I created the Passage of the Unbound. And now you are one of its leaders. Stand by my side and together we shall release the people of the world from their chains. This is definitely starting to sound like a hero of another story sort of situation. Has she actually seen what the others got up to with their relics, though? I did not initially intend to spend so much time in these wastes. Do ensure you master that pose I showed you. Although I've only recently invented it, I expect every member to be able to be capable of striking it at a moment's notice. With that, I cordially welcome you to the Passage of the Unbound. Pose of the Unbound. You learned the emote, Pose of the Unbound. Here we go. You can sense a plot forming behind Apiahi's mischievous eyes. Now that the night sky has energized us, it is time to take action. Our goal is no less than to see every nation of the world crumble, yet we must start somewhere. I was struck by how much had changed during my most recent visit to Toral, wherein I gathered the first group of my chosen leaders. At the time I encountered the Wise One. No ruler had united the continent under one banner. Uncertainty was in the air, but so was the scent of freedom. I had never seen a place quite like it, so much did it intrigue me, in fact, that I adopted a Shatona name for myself. Yet now that same freedom I found so appealing is now bound by the restrictions of state. And each day that passes, those binds grow tighter. That is why our first course of action shall be to return to Toral, water-worn soils, to liberate it from the tyranny of Tuliolo. While my previous leaders were avatars of self-indulgence, they never quite grasped the concept of overthrowing a nation. It falls to us to set a precedent for future leaders to follow. Go to Toral and get the lay of the land. Venture to Huatsi in Shaloni and rendezvous with my enforcers at the local tavern. You may await further orders there. Apiahi's schemes have been laid bare. You should bring this information to Rao Majun in Tuliolo. Ray, you returned! Were you able to track down Apiahi? I see. Her methods for testing the mettle of her would-be leaders are as unique as the candidates themselves. Yet learning that our next target is Tuliolo makes this sinking feeling in my stomach worse. This revelation doesn't come as a complete surprise, you see. We've heard whispers of a plot against the city, and have been aiding the Landsguard with investigating leads. While you were abroad, some familiar faces showed up to lend a hand. Oh, speak of the Vidro. see what I mean? We have 4 girls and 1 boy. It's not very balanced. When Brook Uvo sent word you meant to pursue Apiahi, we were eager to join the hunt. Yet right as we were arranging a ship to cross the ocean, we spied a suspicious group disembarking at the port and decided we might better aid you by tracking their movements. They claimed to be looking for work and obtained permission to travel to Shaoloni. Yet upon arriving, they went to work of a different sort, asking anyone they could find about Tuliolo and the inner workings of its government and defenses. We're not bothering the people at Shaoloni. They loaf around Hutsui. The master of the tavern there said the group spent long hours talking to other patrons, rarely ordering a thing, and going on about some plan. Yep, that's the passage of the Unbound. Clearly there are enforcers that Apiahi mentioned. We need to find out what they're planning and how Apiahi's treasure fits into the picture. Then we can figure out how to stop them. Let's split up. If these enforcers are as talkative as they seem, I'm sure it won't be hard to eavesdrop. Let me help too. I have an idea that might make things easier. But it requires Ray to aid us. I hope you can oblige. Are we going to start weaponizing the totems against the Passage of the Unbound? Because that would actually be kind of cool. Then it's settled. Loshkana, Tepeke and I will uncover the nature of Apiahi's treasure. These link pearls should make it easier to communicate. I bought them from a foreign sailor. I knew they'd come in handy sooner rather than later. Alright, once we've discovered something, we'll meet at the Aetherite Plaza in Watsui. Now then, follow me and I'll tell you about this idea of mine. What clever plan does she have in store? I have something that will make our job a lot easier. The Dreamweave Cocoon! The village elder understood how much it means to me to bring the Unbound to justice for their crimes, and entrusted me to do so once and for all. I met this Apiahi in the flesh, yes? That means you can use the cocoon to imitate her. It can do that? Why, I was ready to use stealth and deception, but this will make getting the information we need much easier. My thinking exactly, but it will all be for nothing if Apiahi reaches them before we do. So let's make our way to Husatawi at once. Okay, to be fair, we might only be getting use of the Dreamweave Cocoon out of this, but still, that's a pretty cool way to tie it all back together. That was the very first totem that we got back too. Oh, Unbound Enforcer. Yeah, these guys. Situated near Tuliolo Trailhead, this settlement was originally built as a supply depot to facilitate the exploration and development of Shaoloni Wilderness. As time passed, however, a new saloon and other entertainments drew in the local cerulean miners. Within a few short years, the depot became a thriving trading post. I took a peek inside and saw a few rough-looking types who didn't sound too raleigh, gathered around one of the tables. Doubtless they're our targets. There's no one fitting Apiahi's description, so she probably hasn't arrived yet. This is our chance. We can hear everything from out here, so we'll keep watch in case Apiahi makes an appearance. If she does, we'll call you on Link Pearl. Alright, Ray, take the Dreamweave Cocoon in hand. In your mind's eye, envision that wicked woman. Well transformed, speak with the Unbound Enforcer. Boss, wait, you told us not to trust anyone, even yourself. If you are who you and I think you are, do the pose. We've all got sore arms from practicing it so much. Oh, I got too ahead of myself there, didn't I? No one but you could strike a pose half as inspiring. We've been waiting, boss. Now that you're here, that means it's time to mobilize, right? Have you done what I asked? I think we have it memorized. Still, it couldn't hurt to review what you told us. We launch our attack from the gates of Tuliolo. Cerulean barrels will blow it to bits in a fantastic explosion. And Eller's concoction will give us the strength to crush the land's guard like ants. A simple plan for simple villains, don't you think? Keep pressing them for information, Ray. And how will my my role in the attack? What'll you be having? Oh no, all the time. Every time they visit a tavern, they accidentally order things. Excuse me, we're in the middle of something. Yeah, mind your business. We'll be moving along, so stop trying to bleed us for every coin we have. Ray, we see the real Apyahi approaching. We have to buy time. Rock! Use rock! Keep the henchmen talking. You there, I wouldn't go in there. The drinks are more water than spirit. Is that so? Oh, good thing I'm not thirsty. No, there's no food either. They've sold out every last dish. She's there to talk with her friends. What? And they have the goal to remain open? Greed run amok indeed. Luckily I wasn't planning on ordering anything. I'd rather die than become a paying customer. Have you no shame? They're trying very hard to stall things out. There was something else I didn't think there was. You were supposed to shore up our numbers, right? You said that artifact of yours would give us an army. Well, did it? That's the trick. Ray, get out of there. She's coming in. Of course. Oh, you're already here? You move quickly. Oh, that means we can get started all the sooner. Once Tuliolo succumbs to our wrath, together we shall celebrate the return of true liberty to Toral. Now see to your preparations, join us upstairs, we strike when I give the order. So, if I were in that situation, then I would actually I would go daring there and say, I was in the area, but you don't have a sister, do you? I think an imposter version of you has been snooping around. We might be in trouble. But that would be... I don't know whether that would work out. She's even more devious than I imagined. I can scarcely wait to see her in shackles, but I know a hasty misstep can quickly lead to ruin. See, I would lead us to ruin. That was close. I don't know what would have happened if it'd been found out. We couldn't hear what they were saying while we were trying to distract Apyahi. Did you get anything we can use? That's great. Tentawa and the others have just arrived themselves. Let's go meet them. Actually, no, you didn't have the rock using totem, you had the force field one. I wonder how their search went. I heard you transformed into Apyahi herself. The varied powers of the treasures never cease to amaze. The cocoon is safe with me. While we are somewhat unfamiliar with the world outside Dawntrail, we were able to gather some information which should be of use. Oh yeah, you ran into Apyahi at the tavern. Tell us everything that happened. I see. Her plan is to strike at Tuliolo from the Shaloni side, then we can focus our defenses there. You said her minions spoke of an army being summoned by her treasure? That matches with the story we heard. It was told to us by one of the Vipers. We hope their expertise in tracking deadly beasts such as the Toral Drow, the very source of our treasure's powers, might provide insight onto those capabilities of hers. Apparently, they received reports that creatures across Toral were falling under the thrall of a Shatona woman. Even the most feral of beasts obeyed her like a docile lamb. Yep, that's her artifact. I saw Apyahi command a massive worm. Well, now we know what our enemy is capable of. I've heard that some animals hunt by hypnotizing their prey with sound, smell, or even magical energy. Perhaps the Toral Vidral whose essence lies in their treasure was one of those, but it's difficult to say which. Even so, we know Apyahi's plan and the threat we face. We can prepare for whatever she might throw at us. We'll have to cut her off at the Zorga of the Boundless. It'll take everything we have to drive her back, but if we fight as one, neither her nor her beast will take a single step into Tuliolo. I'll stay here for a while and keep an eye on things. If Apyahi makes a move, I'll contact you at once. Can you tell Raoul Majun what we've learned? bringing an army of beasts to our doors? There's so little time to prepare. And if the treasure can bend ferocious beasts to its will, we must consider the possibility it can be used on people too. I'll bring this information to the Landsguard at once, that they may begin readying the city's defences. I know neither you nor they will let a single citizen come to harm. This is it, Ray. With any luck, Apiahi and our cronies will soon be languishing in cells. Bar the passage. Raoul Majun has a nervous look in her eyes. You said Tantawa was keeping watching Hatsuai, right? I suppose no news is good news. Ooh, right on cue. Apiai and her minions are preparing to depart. It's time, everyone, to make us stand before the gates of Tuliolo. And here I was hoping that Apiahi would turn herself in. Well, I suppose she'll just have to be brought in by force. She might have that treasure, but she doesn't have our allies. And she certainly doesn't have you. Today we stop the Unbound. Tomorrow will become a dawn in Tuliolo, free of their shadow. Speak at the Tuliolo trailhead. I can't fight, but I have medicine at the ready. I'll help however I can. I saw the Unbound leave Hatsuai. They should be here any moment. If our guess about the treasure's power is correct, this will not be an easy fight. My bow will aim true, I promise. Although the circumstances that brought us together were less than fortunate, I'm confident that in the end we'll be stronger for them. We won't allow the passage of the Unbound to wreak havoc in Tuliolo. Today, Apiai and her ilk answer for their crimes. You will progress Oh, this sounds like a big instance then. Your progress throughout the battle will be saved at certain points. In the event you are defeated, you'll be able to try again from the most recent of these. Please note, if you enter battles associated with other quests or log out, that progress will be lost. She's gonna be so disappointed to see her new friend riding against her. Oh, we have a lot of guys. A lot of guys. They're here. Watch that mushroom turn out to be a super boss. We knew you were coming up, Yai. You and your gang of thugs won't be going any further. So you've chosen to join the other sheep, have you? How disappointing. I offered you so much more than the life of a lapdog. Villains like you don't deserve freedom. Of course you would say that. You are Eosia's savior after all. So she knew all along, she was just hoping that she could win us over. I knew it from the moment I saw you. And I suppose now you're asking why I was so forthcoming with my plans. I wanted you to see what we fight for, to realize the beauty of true freedom, and devote yourself to the pursuit of it as our ally. Alas. Your allies are only following you because the treasure has them in its thrall. No one would willingly follow such a reckless leader. Interesting. You think I have the power to command others against their will? Well, don't you? Oh, you are far more foolish than I believed. I would never rob anyone of their freedom. Just wild animals, right? She's gone. Not gone. Here. Look! Beats approach from the Tulliolan side! But how? We committed too heavily to this side, now she strikes at our blind spot. We must open the gate. The path to a new tomorrow lies ever before us. We need only be brave enough to walk it. Leave this lot to us. You tend to the others. What's with this theme of mushrooms, though? We have to take care of these beasts before going after Kapiahi. Over here, Ray! Over here, Ray! No, not the zillion needles! As I feared, my creatures cannot live up to the real thing. Apyahi the architect. How about this? Uncanny Yigizikishia. Attacking from above. All of this in a single blow. No, I think not. Uh-oh. Watch out, the pig! Attacking from above? Devious! I can't keep track of who's who. Leave the skies to me. The rest of you, focus on the big one. You saved my hide. Block frenzy once again. Now! I guess she is actually taking shots up at the sky like that. Tenacious lot, aren't you? Well, I suppose I wouldn't want you to fall too quickly. So many, but we will persevere. Oh wait, that's Lushkana. Oh yeah, that's a big AoE. I don't think she's summoning them, I think she's actually creating them. Scheming, are we? Don't think I'll allow you to do as you please. Protect Lushkana. Okay, that works. No, my poor pitiful pets! So I cannot rely on numbers alone. Keep them distracted, my darlings. We'll be fine. Go on. Which one's the Pepe? I can't remember. I might be in trouble. Something a little different this time. Behold the fruits of my travels across Tural. Thanks for the help. Now to catch up, Yahi. Don't think you've won yet. It's over, Yahi. You're strong, to be sure, but so is this. Uncanny development. Send your worst. I won't lose. Don't hold back, mate. Medicines will keep you upright. Limits are just more rules to be broken. Why has he stopped being able to be hit? That doesn't look good. Worry not, get behind me and you'll be safe. Ice Aegis, sheltered by 10 towers shield. Damage taken is reduced. You survived that? Thank you for keeping us safe. We've almost got her. Even bugs squirm before they die. This time I'll finish things. Your stubbornness mucking stuck to my sandals. If that knot alone is not enough to... What? Something's gone into them. Something's gotten into them. I may have underestimated you lot. Together we'll triumph. And while defeating you would be quite the feather in my cap, the gates of Tuliolo are a much easier target. Wait! Curses. She's making a run for it. Follow our Ray. Pursue up Yahi. Anything that would obstruct the free world I aim to create will be destroyed. Must you insist on being a thorn in my side? Very well, then I shall plant the banner of evil upon the corpse of Eosia's hero, and the meek shall flock to me. Make my fervent desire manifest. Grant me the power to seize undying freedom. The Architect, Apyahi. Oh boy! A rotten barrel tender, it seems. Mysos tender. Go forth, my prickly punisher, and crush those who would find us. But what is this sudden dreadful feeling? Perhaps I haven't been sleeping well of late. Oh, that's fire. No, he got out! Pathogenic power. Oh dear. Okay, that was... Wow. Rude. No, I can do this on normal. I just... I reckon I actually could have survived that if I had realized that it was going to hit me with those rings. But okay, lesson learned. No arm's length. Damn it, I got burned. Impressive. I expected to know less of you, but this farce ends here. Now smash her to a pulp. I don't think so. So we find comfort in fellowship. At least this will save me the trouble of killing you one by one. This is your moment, my pointy pugilist. It's getting even stronger. Is the treasure making it that stronger? Together wear out your back. Together we will repel this foul creature. Keep the move, everyone. What? How can you stand before the treasure's might? What are you? Such power that would be welcome within the passages of the Unbound. Oh, flesh-boiling punishment lake. Do not falter, my spiky soldier! Gather round Ray, everyone! Can you withstand this? Spread out or we'll be swept away! You scurry around like rats. Pulverize them with this, my barbarian. Or Bob Barbarian. Is this poison? Stay away from it! They keep spamming provoke. No, even my spine saving has fallen. finished yet. I can replenish my ranks. No more mold spores. It seems I must admit defeat. Yet, know this. I do not believe the ideals for which I fought were misguided. Think back upon the leaders who came before you. Those 5 self-serving souls who dared to live as they pleased. No Lalafell though, he didn't count. Each one the perfect image of liberty, yet ultimate perfection cannot be achieved without ultimate power. That is why we fought, why we became villains, to tear down the world's nations and their stifling rules so that the voiceless may speak again. What made you feel this way? Ray told you already, surely, yet the exile that emboldened my hatred of meaningless restrictions also led to my awakening. I couldn't have known true freedom without it. And as I traveled the world, I noticed the same thing everywhere I went. The many were bound by the few. In Gridania, citizens are discouraged from joining hands with their neighbors. In Uldar, merchants craft laws to exert their control over others. Even in Lominza, once lawless pirates were made to bow to the state. Need I say more? The countless Ishgardians were tricked into sacrificing themselves when their church fanned the flames of war. The people of the East, whose entire lives are determined by outdated customs and more. I had to go west to find what I sought. Here in Toral, I lived a life unbound. Or so I thought. After a terrible tragedy, I was forced to find a new home once again. Terrible? What happened? I can scarcely say. I was asked to pay for my lodgings. Pay? You mean you hadn't been paying all along? Why should I have to trade coin for a roof over my head? In my village, charging someone for something so essential was unthinkable. So long as one followed the rules, that is. For the first time since my exile, I questioned my path. I now convinced myself that taking care of the drunken sisters night after night wasn't so bad after all. Where do you live again? No, that doesn't matter. Surely, if you can accept trading labor for housing, you can understand the reasons behind trading coin for it. No, money is just another rule that's used to control us. A rule I won't accept. I was forced to live on the streets. In my tent, I plotted. The rebellion would start with me and end with the authority of every nation in tatters. You know, it was actually a rather deep and thoughtful moment until we found out that she's just incapable of accepting money. Yet, one day, after long hours of sowing discontent, I returned to find my tent gone. In its place stood a sign that read, "No vagrancy." The last thing you owned was gone in an instant. That can't have been easy. I can understand your perspective, Apyahi, but a world which everyone did what they pleased would soon fall to chaos. Laws are the only thing that keep us from that. And I know firsthand what it's like to be bound by old rules, rules whose purposes are sometimes baffling. But you don't have to follow them blindly. If you're dissatisfied, you can work to change them. What you speak of, Apyahi, is not freedom, it's self-indulgence. So you're saying, if I change the law, I can do whatever I please? Wrong moral. You've taken the wrong moral from this story. Not a word got through to her. Talking anymore would be a waste of breath. It's time to put her in chains. This is all you're doing, isn't it? It's time you join the rest of your minions. I won't resist, but this isn't over. Those who share my vision will hear of this injustice. They will carry on my legacy. The passage of Unbound shall remain open forevermore! Freedom that arms others is no freedom at all. Living in a society has its challenges, but it allows us to support each other as a group. I knew anyone who admired Eleret would have twisted morals, but even so, I'm shocked by the depth of Apyahi's depravity. Finally, the Unbound are in chains. Do you think Itoka would be proud of us? Of me? Judging by how her force was mostly comprised of wild beasts, I take it Apyahi couldn't have sent many of her henchmen to Durao. Perhaps Virizin's resources have finally run dry. Your bravery was inspiring, everyone. Apyahi is in the custody of the Landsguard and her treasure is destroyed. Without her leader and secret weapon, the Unbound Way may well and truly be finished. We should return to XIV and let Rao Majun know about our victory here. I heard all about your battle with the passage of the Unbound. Leave it to you to not only capture their leader, but do so without anyone in Tuliol who come into harm. By the way, the mages from the Wing of Protection inspected the remains of the beasts you fought. Their discoveries were surprising, to say the least. They weren't actually individual organisms, you see, but a collection of minute fungi that had taken the form of familiar creatures. The mages concluded that the Taral Vidral sealed within the treasure was likely once a fungi itself. That explains the sightings of Apyahi traveling with beasts of all sorts at her beck and call. She built her army by finding the fiercest creatures she could and recreating them with the power of her treasure. But you stood against that army without a shade of fear in your eyes. As a token of gratitude, you're welcome to tacos on the house whenever you're in town. Speaking of which, I hear Tentawa and the others will soon be returning to their respective villages. Goodbyes are always bittersweet, but I'm sure they'd love to speak with you one last time. Every time I come to XIV, I'm amazed by all the different kinds of people gathered around its tables. I wish there was a place like this in my village. I want to spend some time in Tuliolo's markets before I return home. I've been thinking a spare pair of spectacles might be a prudent purchase. It seems my parents fell in love with it. Okay, actually I can just reread it. It seems my parents fell in love with the tacos here while they awaited my return from Thavnir. I'm sure they'd be happy if I brought some home with me. This short time together with you has reminded me of Wislam and Zerg. I wonder how they fare. Perhaps I'll write them a letter and find out. And I neglected to mention this earlier, but I was able to convince everyone back home to stop relying on the cradle. My sleepless days are over, but I've been busier than ever. I've looked to Ishgard's Knights for inspiration on how to build solidarity among the villages. We train together and take turns on watch, among other things. Those Nikwe no longer needs to sleep under a day's bed, and sometimes joins us in our drills. I admit this new life wouldn't be the same without her. The new life for which we both owe you thanks, Ray. We'll keep striving to follow the example you set for us. My people have accepted the fact that we cannot always rely on the heart sting, and even now train to build our natural resistance to the various toxins. It took some time to figure out the right amounts to use, and I admit there were some close calls, but luckily the heart sting was at our disposal. Yet I believe our strength lies in our ability to conquer hardship. I hope one day we can trust in our own abilities. That being said, it's been some time since I had a meal that wasn't laced with poison. I've forgotten how delicious food can be. During my time in Ishgard, I realized the cuisines of the world are as varied as its people. No doubt the prospect of discovering new delicacies adds excitement to your travels. The others will be glad to hear how key the Dreamweave cocoon was to our success. And though it seems up here he recognized you from the moment you met, it didn't make a difference, did it? It just reaffirms for me that you're more than earned your renown as a hero. I still aspire to become a hunter worthy of Itoka's legacy, and I know it will take a lot of time and a lot of hard work. For now, I will focus on keeping my village safe, but I won't stop there. Keep your ears to the ground, Ray, for someday you might hear tales of Kui, a hunter true. Oh, it wasn't you. Everyone was so brave. My heart always starts pounding when the fighting begins, but I didn't need to worry. Since I'm here in Tuliolo, I'll visit the market before I return to my village. Oh, I almost forgot. Kakuja sent me a letter. He said the authorities have taken his circumstances into account and decided to be merciful. He'll be released soon, and just as promised, my village will be the first place he visits. Everyone's looking forward to greeting him with open arms. If Kakuja agrees to be our protector, we can come to Tuliolo more often. To think the origin of the treasure lies with the Yokwi. Even with such dominating strength they possessed, they still sought more when their very survival was at stake. My people were afraid of the Apex and so sealed it away with our treasure. But over time, the treasure became as feared as the beast within it, thus we never considered using it as a tool to aid us. I've been training hard. I hope someday I can help my people view the treasure from a new perspective. It may take a while, but we'll get there. I'm already stronger than the last time we met, right? Heh, you don't have to answer. But trust me when I tell you, we won't take the easy road like Virazan. Every bit of progress we'll earn through hard work. On that note, as much as I'd like to stay, I suppose we all have homes waiting for us. Let's say our farewells to Brukavu and Rao Majun. I'm glad you got to catch up with everyone. Shall we bring this party to a close then? Be well, everyone. I'll bring Lowe's and Nikwe next time. I wanted to meet the people who helped us. Stop by my village if you're ever in the region. I'll treat you to a freshly hunted boar. Everyone get home safely. We'll meet again soon. I hope I was able to pay back the debt I owe you, if only a little. If you ever need help again, you know how to reach me. It was a long and trying road, but the treasures are finally back in their rightful places. And the passage of the Unbound, with no one to lead their meager numbers, will fade into obscurity. I'm sure we'll hear no more of them again. Here's to peace and Tuliolo. Psh, rules. Basic social considerations? Who needs them? Those pathetic bastards don't even see the yokes around their necks. Did you see how nobly Apyahi fought? As long as I can remember that sight, I'll never turn away from the path she showed us. It's up to us to continue what she started. We don't need those artifacts to bring down nations. We'll find a whole new kind of weapon. The passage of the Unbound shall remain ever open, and we'll be there to guide others upon it. There's more of you? Criminals, over here! By the cause, run! We can't be caught here! Well, at least we're not the ones who have to run them down. I don't despise it, but it is a touch disappointing. It is a little bit disappointing. Anyhow, with that out of the way, this is probably where we have to cut the stream at a pretty good time, I guess. Next time, we finally go back to... We're finally going back to the main scenario of Dawntrail. We're playing as Ibuki Miyoda again. I don't know, I feel like there are good points in there, it's just let down by it needing to be a punchline. But just in case, I'm going to talk with these guys one last time and then we end the episode. I know you've been hard at work helping to solve Tural's problems, and we're grateful for it. You're welcome to relax here anytime you want. Well, if it isn't my favourite customer, thanks to you the world is free from the passage of the Unbound's villainy. If there's anything I can do for you, you need only say the word. Dialogue. Okay, how are things? With Apyahi and the leaders of our organization in fetters, it's safe to say the passage of the Unbound is finished. The world just got a little safer thanks to your efforts. Tell me about the sacred treasures. They are objects of incredible power passed down through generations of clans hailing from all corners of Tural. Within each is sealed the essence of an animal, which became a fearsome Tural Vidral. These have come to be revered by their respective peoples. These treasures allow their wielder to harness the power of the beast within them, and thus have the clans protected their homes. If Apyahi is to be believed, the treasures were created by a Yokhui calling himself the Wise One. Now that hers has been destroyed, we need no longer fear that they will be misused. Tell me about the Passage of the Unbound. The Lance Guard told me why Apyahi founded her villainous organization, and what a story it is. A trivial, ridiculous story. Thankfully, without the treasures to rely upon, the Passage of the Unbound has no teeth. No doubt the authorities of nations across the star will root out the remaining members, though I expect the organization will fade into obscurity soon enough regardless. Or so had I thought, until more leaders gathered in this very place. Fortunately, they were apprehended almost immediately. Never again shall that abominable group trouble us. Never! So then, with all that said and done, we've saved Tuliolo. And now we go back in time to go do the main scenario with Ibuki next week. Until then, guys, take care. I'll see you all around. Actually, what was the song that we got? Let's turn on the equestrian and find out. So it was called, oh. It's their boss theme. Okay. So, until next time, guys, take care. I'll see you all around.